Howdy everybody. I'm doing chores, about ready to feed the chickens, and the dude is right over here getting his food all ready. Have to be careful with him because he likes to attack people. That's why he's outside. I wanted to tell you about a story of something that happened to me that probably ranks in the top 5 scariest things that have happened to me in my lifetime. And that is the day that I battled the 10-foot boa constrictor, and I lived to tell about it. Okay, so you have to spread the food around a little bit here because the chickens don't like to share. And I learned that the more that I spread it around, then everybody always gets some.
Griseldo is there.
Yeah. You can see this is our compost pile here. The chickens have been scratching it and picking at it, so I'm going to build it back up a little bit. Not much because I'm going to move it tomorrow, but just enough so that they can continue scratching at it and helping to break it down. Now, what happened was a couple of years ago, before I started the YouTube channel, so I didn't have the camera with me. I'm not sure it would have helped that much even if I did have the camera with me, but here's basically what happened. I came here, and of course you could see that I'm down in a pit. I originally had this built to be a deep bedding composting. It didn't work out, and I'll explain that in another video why it didn't work out, because it was not a great move on my part. So Lena's with the camera in the doorway there, and I was standing right there, and I noticed that all the chickens were grouped over here. I'd never seen that before, and so I thought, wow, that's really weird. And so I lowered myself. As I was lowering myself, I happened to notice in this corner, right over here, there was a huge snake. A boa constrictor, a huge one, coiled up, had a big smile on his face, and he was very satisfied. And in his neck, or down from his head, was a big bulge. So it was obvious that he had just eaten one of my chickens. And this happened mid-September because the American football season had just started. And it was a Sunday, and I wanted to watch the Chicago Bears play. I'm a big Chicago Bears fan, always have been. And so I didn't want to miss the game. So I was in here kind of hurrying, and all of a sudden I see this giant snake over here. So I lowered myself the rest of the way down and grabbed the pitchfork here, trying to figure out what I was going to do. Obviously, I couldn't leave him in here because I was worried that it was going to eat all the chickens eventually. So I said, I have to get it out of here. Now, Lena and I love animals. We don't have a great love for snakes, but we do believe that every animal has a right to its life. And so we're not people who just go around killing things. I could have gone and gotten a guy from next door with a machete, and he could have come and taken care of that pretty quick. But I didn't think that was the right thing to do. Not the snake's fault that he was in here. If anything, it was my fault for not blocking this off more. So why should he have to pay with his life? That was kind of my philosophy behind it. So I said, you know, he's got that chicken. He's trying to move it down his gullet and at the same time trying to digest it. So he's using a lot of energy for that. So he's very lethargic right now. So I said, maybe I can move him enough to get him out of here. And so that's what I did. I went over, I positioned the pitchfork underneath him and quickly pulled him this way because I had 2 challenges. First challenge was to move him enough here to the door that I could hopefully get him out. The second challenge was to actually get him out. So the first thing was to get him moved over to here. And I knew he wasn't going to volunteer to move, so I had to help him out. And so I got the pitchfork underneath him and pulled him. Well, he wasn't very happy about that. He didn't like that very much. But for the most part, he still kind of ignored me. And so I went back for another one. I'd been able, not really to move him any substantial way, but I had been able to uncoil him so he was stretched out. That's kind of how I know that he was about 10 feet, because he filled almost the entire length of the chicken house here. So I said, okay, what I have to do is move the tail over here, and maybe that'll force him to kind of move closer to the door. So I went to get the tail, and I succeeded. I pulled him again. But the snake took more attention to that, and he was pissed off. He rose his head up and started going like that. So I had to take the pitchfork and move back, and I was like this, and I was pushing like this with the pitchfork, not to really hurt him, but to discourage him from going after me. He settled back down again. Remember, he has this big chicken in his throat. So 2 more times of doing this, and him getting mad and snapping at me, and I finally got him over enough to this area here that I could try to lift him up and out. Well, the first time I did that was a complete failure, because I tried to lift the entire snake out. I tried to get the pitchfork underneath him and lift the whole thing up. I wasn't strong enough to do that, first of all. And secondly, he wasn't cooperating very much with that strategy. So then I moved more over here, over to the side, and I just grabbed part of him, and I said if I could just get part of him outside, I could probably push the rest of it out. And that's what I did. I got part of him up and out, just kind of hanging over the ledge of the door here. And that was enough for me to get the pitchfork like this inside where he was coiled there and to push. Then I came down, used the same strategy that I did over here to get the tail up. I tried to stay away from the head as much as I possibly could. But once I got most of him out, he took the rest of himself the rest of the way out. And so now the snake was right down here, coiled up. And he was fairly happy, and I was pretty happy too. But then I got to thinking, he's too close to the chicken house. Maybe after I leave, he's just gonna come back up and go right back inside and get himself another meal. So I said I have to move him farther away. So I came down here and started being much more aggressive in moving him than I was when I was in here, because that was an enclosed area. I couldn't run away really, and the snake is very fast. So I grabbed and I pulled and came and was pulling like this, pulling him along, and I got him down about this far, pulling him along. And I noticed as I was doing that the muscles in his body were going this way up toward his face. And I said, oh wow, he's trying to regurgitate the chicken so he can fight me. And that's exactly what he did. On the way of me getting him over here, he regurgitated the chicken right about here where this black piece of plastic is. And then I decided that's enough. Now he doesn't have anything to slow him down. I was able to do this. I probably never would have done it if I hadn't seen that he was full. He had that chicken inside him, and he was trying to digest it and trying to move it down his gullet. And I knew that that would slow him down, that he was lethargic, and I took advantage of that opportunity. I don't think I ever would have done it if he hadn't had that impediment to attacking me, because the boa is very fast, and the bite of the boa is very severe. It's not venomous. They don't have venom, but the bite is a very severe bite, causes very severe infection. But that's what happened. I left him out here, ran inside. Lena wanted to come out and see it. By the time she came out, the boa had already gone. And that's it. That's the whole story. So with that, I'm going to end the video, and I'll see you in the next one.